Hello everyone, welcome back to Genius Knowledge Point, your one place for practical programming solutions for computer and IT students. I am making this video to provide practical knowledge to all students so that you can develop your own programs which will be helpful for your studies as well as career. In this practical we will see practical number 14 of Java programming, which is according to Diploma Computer and IT, and case scheme and semester number 4, and the topic in this practical is to design any type of form using AWT. So according to old syllabus, Java programming was divided into two subjects, that was Java programming and advanced Java programming. So the practicals that we have covered till practical number 13 was part of Java programming, and this practical and onwards that we will see, that was the part of advanced Java programming. The topics was graphical user interface generation using AWT and Swing, then event handling, then networking part and database. So all these topics are under advanced Java programming, but from this case scheme they have compressed the syllabus and they have covered all inside Java programming subject. So what we have to do here, we have to design any type of form using AWT. So what is AWT? AWT is Abstract Window Toolkit. So there are two types of interface that we see in whenever we are running any application. First interface is command line interface and second interface is graphical user interface. Till practical number 13, what we have seen, we are running our programs on command line interface. We are opening CMD, then we are typing our commands, that is compiling command and running command, and we see the output on command line interface only. We are seeing that output on CMD only. But from this practical onwards, what we will be developing, we will be developing our user interface. So what is GUI? GUI is graphical user interface, that is we are creating our own Windows like application, and in that Windows like application we will be creating our own windows. In those windows we will be adding some elements like buttons, labels, checkboxes and so on. So all these components are part of AWT. So this is Abstract Window Toolkit, that is a package present inside our Java system, and we have to import that package, and from that package we will be using some classes and interfaces for generating our code as well as our design. So how AWT will be displaying our window? So for that purpose we will move to diagram. So here I have developed a window. So it is similar to our Windows, any application that we see in our Windows. So it has created a window and it has a title bar, and in the title bar we have some title, then we have some operational buttons, that is minimize, then full screen and closing button, then we have some controls added inside our window. So that we have to develop in these AWT practicals. So moving toward the practical related question first. The first question is design an applet or application to demonstrate the use of radio button and checkbox. So we have to create a radio button and checkbox inside this practical, and for that purpose we have to create a window, and that window class is called frame inside our advanced Java programming, that is which is present inside our AWT package. So we will be using frame class as our parent class, and in that class we will be adding some controls. So these controls are radio buttons and checkboxes. For this question number 1, we will be using only two controls, that is radio button and checkboxes. Actually there are a lot of controls available inside AWT, but we will be seeing radio button and checkbox for the first practical, and for that purpose we will be using frame class as our container. So in this diagram what I am doing, I am creating frame, and this frame is my parent container, and in that parent container I am adding some controls, like I am adding some labels, then I am adding checkboxes, then again I am adding label, then adding radio buttons. So this is how the practical will be, and this is how the output will be displayed on our system. So to design an applet application to demonstrate the use of radio button and checkbox, for that purpose we will be using application concept. We will not be using applet, because applet is discontinued in Java programming now. So the code will be, so this is the initial code. So initially, as we are performing practical of AWT, we have to import java.awt package, and we have to import it like .star. So what is the meaning of .star? I am importing all the classes and interfaces which are present inside AWT package. I'm not importing separate classes or interface, so that's why I'm importing it using dot star. So all the classes and interfaces will be taken into my program, so I can use those classes and interface. Next, I'm creating a class, that is class radio demo. So this is my class name. Then I'm using inheritance here, and I'm extending frame class. So what is frame class? Frame class is like this. It is having a frame window, it is having some title bar, it is having operational buttons, and it can be used as a container, as a parent class for all the controls that we are creating inside it. So this is how the frame will be created, and for that purpose we have extended our class using frame class. So class radio demo extends frame. That means we are inheriting all the properties of frame into radio demo class. So automatically my radio demo class will become a frame. So it can do all the operations that are present inside frame like frame. So next I am creating some objects of the class, that is checkbox, CB1, CB2, CB3 and CB4. So these are the declaration of objects that I am creating here. So I am declaring 4 objects of checkbox class. So again, what is checkbox? Checkbox is a class present inside our AWT package to create checkboxes and radio buttons. So in AWT there is no different or there is no separate control available to create radio buttons. We are using checkbox to create radio buttons only. So that's why we are creating objects of checkbox, and from those 4 objects I will be using 2 objects as checkbox and another 2 objects as radio buttons. So that's why I have created 4 objects of checkbox class. So checkbox, CB1, CB2, CB3 and CB4. These are my 4 objects, out of which I will be using 2 as checkboxes and other 2 as radio buttons. So to create radio buttons, we have to create one more class object, that is checkbox group, because in case of radio buttons only one selection is possible. So that's why we have to add those checkboxes into some group so that only one is selected from others or multiple checkboxes. So that's why we are adding or we are creating an object of checkbox group, that is CBG. Next I am creating an objects of label class. So why labels are needed? Because as you see in the output, I have created 2 labels, that is I have to display some messages in front of the user. So for that purpose I am creating 2 labels. So that is select subjects and select gender. So these are the 2 labels that I am displaying for the user. So for that purpose I am creating 2 objects, that is label L1 and L2. So both the objects are declared here. So these are the declaration part that I have done in the radio demo class. Next I am creating constructor of this radio demo class. So in that constructor what I am doing, I am creating those objects. That means I am initializing the object using new keyword. In the previous statements I have just declared those objects. I have not created those objects, I have just declared those. So in the constructor I am just creating all the objects. So L1 is equal to new label select subjects. So this is the label that will be displayed in front of the user, and the object name for this is L1, and I am assigning some message. So what is label? Label is always displaying some messages in front of the user using your label object, and that is displayed inside your container, that is window or frame. So select subjects is the message that is displayed in front of the user. Then I am creating L2 as select genders. So these are the 2 labels that I have created. Next I am creating objects of checkboxes. So CB1 is equal to new checkbox and assigning label as Java. So this Java will be displayed as a checkbox, and you can select that checkbox using your mouse pointer. Then I am creating one more object, CB2 is equal to new checkbox. Then I am assigning string as a Python. So the second checkbox name will be Python. So if you see the structure, I have displayed the structure like this. Select subjects will be displayed first, then Java checkbox, then Python checkbox will be displayed, then select gender label will be displayed, and in front of that 2 radio buttons are displayed here. This is how the structure that we have to develop in this program. So for that purpose I have created these 2 checkboxes. Then I am creating object of CBG, that is checkbox group. So CBG is equal to new checkbox group. Then I am creating next checkbox, that is CB3 is equal to new checkbox. Then in that we have to assign some values, that is I have to assign a string first, that is male. Then I have to specify which checkbox group I am including that checkbox. So CBG is the second parameter and the third parameter is false. So by default the parameter of this checkbox group is false. If you assign this value, that checkbox or that radio button will become active initially. So this is how third checkbox is created, which will be added as a radio button. Because you are mentioning CBG in this constructor, that means we are creating this checkbox as a radio button. And the fourth checkbox is also created as a radio button because we are again specifying the same constructor message. So in that constructor, what I am doing, I am passing string as a female, then comma CBG. So again I am including this fourth checkbox into CBG group. That means we have created CB3 and CB4 as a radio button. So automatically when we run this program, these two values or these two checkboxes will become radio buttons. If you see, there is displaying round, it is not displayed as a square button. So it is displaying round, that means it is radio button. So next we have to add those components or these controls inside our frame, and for adding we have to set some layout first. So for that purpose I am adding a statement as set layout, new flow layout. So there are multiple layouts available in Java programming and AWT, but for this program I will be using flow layout because it is the simplest one. So set layout is the function that is inside our frame class, and as we are inheriting the properties of frame class, we will be directly using this set layout function inside radio demo class because it is also a frame now. So set layout is the function, and in that we have to specify the layout object. So I am creating a dynamic object here because we are creating this only one time. So new flow layout is the dynamic object that I have created, and I am passing this as a parameter inside set layout function. So automatically the frame layout will be set as flow layout. So what is the meaning of flow layout? Whatever you are adding in flow layout, that will be added as a lines of text. So the controls will be added one after another till the entire width is complete, and after that the controls will shift to down line or the second line. So this is how the flow layout will be. So this is the important statement, because without flow layout it is not possible to add multiple controls till now. So that's why I have included this statement. Then I am adding controls one by one. So the sequence of these controls is add L1. So first I am adding label 1, which is having select subjects. Then I am adding CB1, so it is having the value of Java checkbox. Then I am adding CB2, which is Python checkbox. Then I am adding L2, that is label 2, which is select gender message. Then I am adding CB3 and CB4. So it will display male and female as radio buttons. So the sequence is very important, because if you add them randomly, they will be added one after another. So that's why we have to add label 1 first, which is select subjects. Then I am adding checkbox 1, that is Java checkbox. Then checkbox 2, Python checkbox. Then I am adding L2, which is select gender label. Then I am adding 2 remaining checkboxes, that is male and female. So this sequence is very important. That's why we have to add those controls according to the sequence. Otherwise they will shuffle and the user interface will be wrong. Next, I am using one more method of frame class, that is set title, because I want to display title in front of the user. So the title is checkbox and radio buttons, that will be displayed as a title on title bar. So checkbox and radio buttons will be displayed here. Then I am setting size for the frame, that is set size function is available. So set size function, in that I am passing two parameters, two integer values, 500, 500. That means I am setting width as a 500 pixel and height as a 500 pixel. So this is how the set size function will be, and it will set the size of that frame. Then finally I am calling the set visible function, because I want to display that frame in front of the user. By default it is not displaying. So for that purpose I have to use the function set visible and assigning true inside that parameter. So the set visible true means the frame will be visible to the user. So all this coding from L1 to set visible, that is inside our constructor. So whenever I am creating an object of radio demo class, so what it will do, it will run this entire coding, and that coding will be creation of objects, then setting layout, addition of those controls inside our frame, then setting title, setting size, and finally we are setting that visible. That means we are displaying the frame. So this is how all this coding will be run in single object, and that object we have created in our main function. So here I am not creating any another class for creating main function. That means this class radio demo becomes my main class. So that's why I am including public static void main here only. I am not creating another main class. So automatically this class will become main class, and in that main function I am creating an object of this radio demo class. And whenever this object is created using new radio demo, that is new keyword, automatically all this coding will be called because it is inside our constructor bracket. So automatically all this coding will run, and finally this frame will be visible. You have to remember that you have to keep set visible statement at the end only, then only the all controls will be visible. Otherwise, if you include this set visible before creation of controls or before title, the remaining coding will not be visible, because the frame will become visible before adding those controls or before adding the title. So that's why you have to remember this set visible should be the last statement inside your constructor. So this is how we have created our frame, we have created our multiple control objects, and we have added those objects inside our frame, and we have set that frame visible using particular size and particular title. So I am just saving this code. You have to save this code as a normal Java program, because it is also a Java program only, it is not another program. So to running the program, the steps are similar. You have to go to the location. Here you have to open CMD, and in that CMD what you have to do, as we have seen in the previous practicals, you have to type the commands. That is, first command is java c space classname dot java. So there is no error, that means program is successfully compiled. Next command is java space classname only. So when I press enter, automatically all this coding will run and my frame will become visible as it is last statement. So I am just pressing enter. So if you see, the frame is created now, and in that frame there is a title that we have added. Then it is having label as we have designed in our coding. So select subject is the first label. Then we have checkboxes. As the checkboxes can be selected multiple, so you can select both checkboxes at a time. So Java is also selectable and Python is also selectable. Then we have added second label, that is select gender, and in front of that we have added radio buttons. But in case of radio buttons, as we have added those inside our checkbox group, so only one can be selected out of these two. So if I am selecting male, female is not active, and if I am selecting female, automatically male will become inactive. So this is how the radio buttons are created inside our AWT using checkbox class only. And the user interface that we have created is using simple flow layout. We have not used any another layout that we will see in another practicals. So we have created flow layout, we have added controls one by one according to our design, and we have added checkboxes and radio buttons as given in the question. So this is how we have created a program for first question, which was just regarding radio button and checkboxes. For that purpose we have created frame. Our own frame we have created using extending frame class, which is present inside AWT package. Then from the same AWT package we are calling some classes, that is radio checkbox class, CBG group, that is checkbox group class, then label class that we have used here. Then we have created their objects inside our constructor. Then we have set layout using a layout manager. Then we have added those controls in proper sequence. Then we have set, or we have used some methods of frame class to set title, size, and making visibility true. So this is how we have created a program for first question, and this question is completed. Now let's move to the second question, which is design an applet or application to create form using TextField, TextArea, button, and label. So again we have to use these controls inside our program. We have seen radio buttons and checkboxes in our first question. Similarly, in this second question we are going to use different controls, that is TextField, TextArea, button, and again we are using label here. So those controls will be covered in this practical. So before that we will just see the output. So the output will be like this. So I am just creating a simple frame, and that frame is having similar properties as a frame, which is having title bar, then operational buttons, Then in that frame again I am using a flow layout to add the controls one by one after another. So this is the label, so this is second control, which is text field. Again I am adding another label, then I am adding text area, and then finally I am adding buttons. So all these controls we are going to cover in this second question. So directly moving toward the code now. So as we have seen in the previous question, we have to import the AWT package first, because without AWT we cannot use frame class or other controls. So for that purpose I am importing java.awt package, and inside that package I am just using .star. So that's why all the classes and interface and controls will be imported here. Next I am creating my main class directly, which is a frame class, by extending frame class. So frame public class form demo. So this is my class name, extends frame. That means I am inheriting properties of frame class into form demo. So automatically this form demo will be a frame now, and it will be having all the properties of frame. It can use some methods which are available, or all the methods available inside frame, and it can create objects and their methods. So the next part is I am declaring objects that are required for our design. So initially I am declaring label objects, that is label space name label comma address label. As we have seen in the diagram, we have used two labels, that is name and address. So that's why I have created two labels here. Then I am creating text field object, that is text field space name text field. So to insert name we need text field. So for that purpose I am creating object of text field class. So this text field class is again present inside our AWT package, which is creating a text field. A horizontal text field will be created, which will accept single line of input. So this is how the text field will be. Then as given in the question, we have to create an object of TextArea. So I am using TextArea class, and that object is address TextArea. So how TextArea will be? It is like this. It is having number of lines and number of characters. So you can add multiple lines of input using TextArea. So this is the difference between text field and TextArea. Text field is used for single line input, and TextArea is used for multiple line inputs. So both the objects are created, and finally the question is given as you have to include a button again. So button class I am using button space submit button. So this is the object of button class, and that will be used as a submit button that we have seen in the diagram. We have created submit button here. So this is how the declaration part will be. Then as we have seen in the previous practical, we have to create a constructor of our main class. So I am creating constructor as public form demo. In that, initially directly I am assigning a layout statement, that is set layout function, and creating dynamic object of flow layout. So as a beginner level we are using flow layout only. We will see layout related practicals in the further questions or further practicals. So that's why flow layout is used again. Then I am creating object of name label as name label is equal to new label, and assigning string which will be displayed as a label in front of the user. So this name will be displayed as a label. Then directly I am adding this name label. So in the previous question what we have done, we have initialized all the objects first, then we have set layout, and we have added one by one. But in this program what I am doing, I have already set layout in the first statement only in the constructor. Then I am creating object as well as adding the same object same time. So the label will be added. Then after label I want text field. So that's why I am creating object of text field now. So name text field is equal to new text field, and in that bracket we have to pass some value as an integer, because we have to specify the width of that text field. So for that purpose I am assigning 20 as a parameter. So the text field width will be 20. So it can store 20 characters inside that text field initially. Next, again I am using add function. So add name text field. So according to our structure, label is added, then text field is also added. Next we have to add address label. So for that purpose I am creating address label is equal to new label, and assigning address string that will be displayed as a label. Then using add function to add address label. So it is added. Then after that we have to add text area. So address text area is equal to new text area. So as I have explained, text area is having number of lines as well as number of characters. So for that purpose we have to pass two parameters, two integer values inside our constructor. So 5 is the number of lines. That means we will be storing 5 lines at a time. Then 20 is the number of characters. So, or you can say 5 as a height and 20 as a width. So this is how text area will be created, and again I am using add function to add this text area, so it will be added inside our layout. Then finally we have to create a submit button. So for that purpose I am using object of submit button. So submit button is equal to new button. So button class is also present inside our AWT package, which will be creating push button. So this button class constructor is created, and in that I am passing submit string. So what it will do, it will create a button and it will assign name as a submit on that button. So this is how button is created. And finally again I am using add function to add that button. So according to our layout or sequence, we have added label first, then text field, then second label, then text area, and finally we have added submit button here. So this is how all the controls are added. Finally we have to set title to the frame, then we have to set size to the frame, and the last statement will be set visible, and we have to assign true value inside that parameter. So the frame will become visible. So this is how we have created our constructor, and we have created main function after that. This is similar to previous practical program or previous question that we have created main function. In that we have created simple object of that main class, which is form demo. So form demo obj is equal to new form demo. We are calling the default constructor, and according to default constructor all this coding will run up to this set visible statement. So all this coding will run. It will initially set the layout, it will create objects according to our sequence, then add them, then finally it will set title, then set size and set visible the frame. So this is how we have created the code. Now just saving the code. To run this code, again we have to follow the same process. We have to go to the location, then we have to open cmd here, then first command is javac, then classname.java. I am just copying the class name, pasting the class name, assigning extension .java. So after compiling there is no error, that means program is successfully compiled. Then second command is java space class name only, then pressing enter. If you see, the frame is created now, but our frame size is set as 400 by 300. That means it is having 400 pixel width and 300 pixel height. So that's why it is showing like this. But if you expand this or if you extend this frame horizontally, what it will do, it will show you all the controls in the flow layout manner. So first label, then text field, then second label text area, and finally submit button. If you see, submit button is push button. You can click on that submit button, you can type any value inside your text field, then you can type multiple lines inside your text area. So this is how the controls are created, which is text field and text area, but there is nothing related to event done here because we are not doing that coding here. We have just designed our frame, we have added the components. We have not added any action to those components. That's why after pressing submit button nothing will happen, or even after clicking on this text field as well as text area, nothing will happen, because we have just made a design here. We have not created any action here. So this is how we have created our second question controls, which was text field, text area, and button and label, and this question is complete. Now the third question is write a program to create 3 buttons with caption OK, reset and cancel. So again what we have to do, we have to create 3 buttons here, and we have to assign them name as a OK button, reset button, and cancel button. So in the previous question we have already created one button which was submit button. So similarly we will be creating 3 buttons and their names will be OK, reset and cancel. So initially I am showing you the output. So we have to create output like this. So this will be the title bar, and I am assigning title as buttons. Then I am creating 3 buttons with name OK, reset and cancel, and I am just adding them. So this is how the output will be. So moving towards the code directly. So as we have seen in the previous practical, we have to import AWT package here using .star, because we are importing all the classes and interface and all the controls. So that's why I am using .star here. Then I am creating object of my frame class, that is class buttons demo. So this is the main class name and extends frame. So again I am inheriting properties of frame class. So automatically all the functions and all the controls will be added here. So next I am creating constructor of this frame class, that is buttons demo. So this is the constructor, and in that I am directly creating objects of button class, that is button b1 is equal to new button, and assigning it name as a OK. So this string will be printed on the button. Next I am creating second object button b2 is equal to new button and printing string as a reset. Similarly creating b3 as a cancel button. So 3 buttons are created now. This time I am not using flow layout, so I am using different method here. So I am using setBounds function on that particular object. So b1 dot setBounds. So what is the use of this setBounds? Whenever you are creating setBounds function for any control, what it will do, it will assign that control, or it will add that control in the window to particular location directly according to coordinate values, and from where those coordinates comes, these are mentioned inside the parameter bracket. So I am mentioning 50, 50. So this is the x coordinate and this is the y coordinate. So what it will do, it will take 50 pixels from the horizontal line, that is horizontally 50 pixels will be taken, and a reference 00 coordinate is taken as this corner of this frame. So from the left corner, left top corner, 50 pixels will be taken to the right, and for y coordinate 50 pixels will be taken to the down. So it is not like mathematics, y is not upward here, y is downward here. So 50 pixels from the left and 50 pixels from the top. So this is how this coordinate or the corner will be created. Then remaining two numbers are width and height of this button. So 50, 50, that means the width of the button will be 50 pixel and height will be 50 pixel. So this is how the button is created. So whenever this button is added inside our frame, it will be added to the particular location directly. So this is how we can use setBounds function to add any control to any location. So similarly I am using setBounds function on b2 and b3. So in the b2 I am taking 130, that means I want to add this button after the OK button. That's why I have taken x value as a larger number, and the same y coordinate is taken. So if you see, y coordinate is 50, then height is width is taken as 80 and height is taken as 50 again, so that they will look in the same line. Next I am creating b3 as setBounds, b3 dot setBounds 230, because I want to display it on the next after the b2. So that's why 230 is x, same y coordinate is taken, width is taken as 80 and same height is taken. So that's why they are looking like in the same line, because their coordinates are properly aligned. Next, as we are using setBounds function, that means we are adding them without any layout. So that's why we have to use this statement, because by default particular layout is set to the frame or another container. So before adding, we have to set this layout to null, otherwise they will be added according to default layout manager. So that's why we have to set layout and we have to pass null here. Next I am adding the buttons, add b1, b2 and b3. So they will be added according to their coordinates and their width and height. Then after that I am creating a title, that is setTitle function is used. I am assigning title string as a buttons. Then size is assigned, set size 700 by 500 pixels. Then set visible true. So this is how we have created our buttons demo constructor, which is adding buttons, their coordinates, that is their positions, and they have added inside our frame. Next the constructor is complete. Finally I am creating main function, creating one object of this buttons demo class, and automatically the constructor will be called and all this coding will run on this statement. So this is how the main function is complete and class is also completed. So saving the code, going to the location directly, before that copying the name. So already the CMD is open here, so I am just typing java c space buttons demo dot java and pressing enter. There is no error, that means program is properly compiled. Then java space class name and pressing enter. So it has created the frame and the buttons are added here. So if you see, buttons are push buttons, so you can press those buttons, but there is nothing coding decided here. There is no coding is done here, so it will not do anything. So it is just a designing part. So this is how we have created this frame. But if you see, the frame will not be closed because we have not done coding here. So again we have to do coding for these buttons. So for this close button we have to do coding. So if you want to close this frame, what you have to do, you have to go to CMD and you have to enter a command, that is Control C on your keyboard. So automatically it will abort the ongoing process and it will close your frame. So this is how you can close the frame if you want to run this program again, or if you want to run another program. So again, if I press up arrow and press enter, it will run the same program and it is showing me the frame. So this is how this question is complete here. Now the next question is, develop and apply our application using list components to add names of 10 different cities. So again we have to see different component here, which is a list component, and in that list, what is the list? List is having multiple list of multiple values, and from those values we will be selecting multiple values or single value. So this is how it can work as checkbox as well as radio buttons, but it will be displayed as a list. It will not display separate values. It will display all the values inside a single list. This is how we will be creating it. So initially I am showing you the output. So this will be the output of this program. So I am creating a frame. In that I am just creating one label to display select cities message, and this is the list component that we have created, including multiple cities names. This is how the cities will be displayed, and you can select multiple values or single value according to your code. So now moving toward the code directly. So initially, as we have seen in the previous examples, we have to import the AWT package with .star. So all the classes and interfaces will be imported here. Then I am creating our main class, that is class cities, by extending frame class. So automatically this cities class will inherit all the properties of frame. Then I am creating constructor of this cities class. So if you see, the method is same for creating all the AWT related programs or design related programs. We are just creating our class, then we are creating constructor, then we are creating the objects that we need, or we are creating objects of controls that we need inside our container. Then we are setting layout, then adding those controls, and finally setting title, setting size and setting visible. So the structure will remain same. So in this program what we have to do, we have to create one label first. So I am creating label LB is equal to new label select cities. So this is the message that will be displayed on the label. Then I am creating list object, which is list L is equal to new list, and in the constructor bracket I am passing two parameters. So there are multiple constructors available, out of which I am using the constructor of integer and boolean value. So what is the meaning of this integer? That means we are assigning some height to the list, and true means second value is the boolean value, and boolean true means we can multiple select inside those list controls or list values, and if the value is false, that means we can select only one value out of the multiple values. So this is how the true and false will work here. Next I am just adding controls inside the list using L.add method. So L is the list object and add method is of list class. So what it will do, it will just add multiple strings inside the list. Those will be our values. So I am just using add function, and in that first I am passing Mumbai. So this is the string that will be name of my first city. Then second I am using L.add Pune, then L.add Hyderabad. So similarly I am adding the 10 cities values using add function. So all the values are added here. Next again I am using set bounds function here. So I am assigning bounds to the label objects, that is lb.setBounds 50, 50. So these are the corner coordinates. Then 130 is the width and 50 is the height of that label. Then again I am using set bounds on list object. So L.setBounds 50, 100. Then 100 is the width of the list and 200 is the height. So this is how the bounds are set, or their position is set inside our frame. Then as I have explained in the previous example, we have to set layout as a null whenever we are using set bounds. So I have set layout and passed null here. So automatically the default layout will be removed here. Then I am adding both the objects, that is label and list object. So after adding list object, automatically it will display the list entirely here, and label is already added. So according to the label and list, the output will be displayed. Then finally I am just setting title, size and making it visible as a true value. So this is how the constructor will complete. Then finally we have to create a main function, and in that we have to create single object of the class. So cities obj is equal to new cities. Automatically it will call the default constructor, and all the coding will run here, and the frame will be visible including list and label. So this is how the coding is complete. So saving the code, and finally moving toward the location again. So going to the location, opening CMD here. The first command is javac space cities, that is class name dot java, pressing enter. So there is no error, that means program is compiled successfully. Second command is java space class name. So after pressing enter, the frame is visible now. So the frame is displaying select cities as a label, and it has included a list including multiple cities names. So if you click on the multiple values, it is selectable. That means you can select multiple values because we have set our constructor with boolean true value. That means multiple selection is possible here. And if you mention boolean value as a false, that means you can select only one value from the list. So this is how we have created a frame. We have added label and list including values of 10 cities as given in the question, and this question is complete. Now the last question is develop an applet or application to select multiple names of newspapers. So in this question what we have to do, we have to create newspaper names and we have to include those into particular control. So as we are going to select multiple newspapers, we can use list control also. So as we have seen in the question number 4, we can use list control here. So the question or the control is not given in this question, so we will be developing it using list control. So directly moving toward the code. So initially I am importing the AWT package, then I am creating our class, that is main class newspapers extends frame class. So automatically frame properties will be taken into newspapers class. Then I am creating constructor. So if you see, this question or this program is similar to previous question. We are using the same control, that is we are using label here. We are adding some message inside label. Then we are creating list control. So list L is equal to new list. Again I am assigning the height of list as a 10, and as given in the question, we have to select multiple newspapers, so assigning true value as a second parameter. Then adding some newspaper names using add method. So L.add, then adding the Times of India, which will be our first newspaper name. Similarly adding other names. Then using set bounds function to assign layout or assign the position to the label and list according to proper coordinates. Then setting layout as a null layout because we are using set bounds function. Then setting title as a newspaper, setting size, then setting visible true, then adding both the controls. So I am just cutting those two lines and adding after set layout function. So this is how the added label and list will be displayed on the frame window. Next, setting the title, then making it visible using true function or true value. So the constructor is complete here. If you see, it is same as the previous question, just I have changed the name of the class and I have changed the names of the newspaper, which was cities in the previous program. So next, creating main function and creating single object of this newspaper class. Just after creating this object, the constructor will be called, all the coding will run, and the frame will be visible in front of the user. So just copying the class name, then saving the code, then going to the location where my class name is, opening the CMD here. First command is javac space class name dot java. So after compiling, there is no error, that means program is successfully compiled. Then second command is java space class name only. So after entering, the frame is visible to the user, and according to our code, it has displayed the label as select newspapers, and a list of newspapers is displayed, and according to our code, we can select multiple newspapers here with the help of mouse pointer. So this is how this question is complete, and also practical number 14 is complete, which was regarding abstract windowing toolkit, which was AWT, and we have seen how to create a frame inside that AWT. We have used some controls like radio buttons, checkboxes, then TextField, TextArea, buttons, then list. All these controls are covered in this practical, and in the next practical we will see more controls having some more functionalities related to AWT. So this is how this practical is complete here. So that's it for today's practical. I hope you understand the program clearly. If you found this video useful, don't forget to like, share and subscribe to my channel for more such programming solutions. and hit the bell icon so you never miss a new video. If you have any doubts or need solutions for other programs, drop a comment below. I will be happy to help. Thanks for watching and happy coding.